Hi, and welcome to Mr. Evans' Squirrel Craft video. Today I'll show you how to make a squirrel from the kit I provided you with. But first, let's just show you what's in the kit. The kit will come with one painted paper cup. Mine is red, but yours could be gray, could be dark gray, could be brown, or could be black. Since squirrels come in all different colors, I painted a bunch of different cups, and I've provided each of you with the possibility of coming up with a different color squirrel depending on which kit you got. But you'll have a cup that's painted whatever color your squirrel is going to be. You'll have a piece of fabric, piece of felt, that will match the cup. Then you'll have another piece of fabric that will be a contrasting color so that you can create little features that will stick out from the normal color of the squirrel. And you're going to have a couple of googly eyes. There are two here, but I've provided a third just in case you lose one. Or if you want to have a squirrel with three eyes, have at it. You can do that. Okay, so your squirrel craft is basically going to be made around your cup here. And you're going to provide the squirrel with a head and tail. And you can provide it with arms if you want to. So the first thing you're going to do is make the head. And you want to get that done with so that everything is glued in place. I've gone ahead and made a squirrel head. You can see the little squirrel head here. Now, one of the things I did, you can see the black nose is how I used the contrasting color to make a nose, but I left the ears red. One of the things you want to do is definitely use a contrasting color, at least for the nose, but you can also do it for the ears if you want them to be a different color. Now, squirrels tend to have pointy ears and a sort of triangular nose, so I recommend, as you can see here, you try to cut little triangles and then round them off for the nose and ears, and then you can glue the eyes on. So what you want to do is do this first, glue these on, and then just let it sit for a little while because you don't want those things falling off when they end up on the squirrel. So the next thing you want to do is create your squirrel's tail. Now you can cut the tail out in any shape you want, but we all know squirrels have big bushy tails. So what you want to do is cut it out in a certain shape, and then you want to make a whole mess of little cuts. You see how I've cut little cuts into the side here, all the way around, not at the bottom because this is where it's going to attach to the squirrel body, but all the way around so that when the squirrel's tail is on there, it looks like the squirrel has a bushy tail. After you've done that and you cut that out, this is the next thing you're actually going to glue. And you're going to glue it to the back of this. And you want to glue it sort of to the bottom here, but only to the bottom. What's going to happen is you glue it as far up, and then it's going to sort of hang back like this, which is how a squirrel's tail is. Sometimes it might tip down a little bit or it might stand up a little bit. Squirrels' tails do whatever squirrels want them to do. Their tails often actually are very expressive. So the more sort of, however you want it to be, you might glue it a little higher so it sticks up, or you might glue a little bit less down the bottom so it hangs down. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this. And what you want to do is sort of lay this on the table like this, and then glue this to the top of it, and then just let it sit there for a while because you want the tail to get well glued to the cup here. So that's what I'm going to go do now. Put a decent quantity of glue, and I'm going to put it on the tail because the tail is going to be lying flat on my table here. Oops. Going to make my glue come out. Put a decent quantity there. And then I'm just going to put it. Now, I want the tail to flop over, so I'm only going to put glue down the bottom here, on the bottom portion of it. And you squish that on there, and you let it sit for a little while. To sit for a little while so it glues in place and it falls down. Now, one of the things you can do with your squirrel here is you can make your squirrel standing up like this, or you can make it on the ground where it's like, it's got its nose in the ground. It's looking for the acorns it's buried. That's what you're going to do is take the head, and you're either going to glue the head to the top of the cup, or you're going to glue it to the bottom of the cup. Now, in my case, I want the squirrel to be on the ground. So what I'm going to do is glue it to the bottom of the cup like this. I'll get my hand out of the way. See how it's glued to the bottom of the cup? So when it sits down, the squirrel's nose will come out a little bit like this, and it'll be like the squirrel is furrowing on the ground. But you don't have to do that. You can glue it to the top of the cup up here, And you want to sort of glue it at the level of the eyes being at the level of the cup here. And if you do that, then the squirrel is sitting up, he's sitting upright like this. And if he's sitting upright like that, you can make little hands for him, and you can give him little arms if you want. As I said, I'm not doing it this way, but you can give him little arms that stick on like this, and another one that stick on like the other way.